Just thought I'd show you a quick tutorial, my tutorial or method to get to rendezvous in orbit. So what you're going to need if you want to dock, first you need a little docking port. I usually use the bigger ones, but this junior fits on here, so I'm going to use that. And then you need RCS thrusters, a little bit of monopropellant. Those are going to help you control your speed and your direction when you're getting close, and it's not practical to use your engines anymore. Basically, I got this whole rocket on a little bit of a tilt eastward, and that just means I can basically just press one button to launch. It takes a little bit of time and finicking to get these set up so it's really stable, and just pressing one button, walking away, but once you do, it's very efficient. Oops. Getting glitched out a little bit here. Okay. So my rockets. I got a space station, as I said, already in orbit. It's at 121. So first thing you do, left click, set as target. So that's where I want to meet up with. That's the mission. So I like to stay a little bit ahead of them and have a bigger orbit. So in effect, if they're in a smaller orbit, they will catch up to you. So I want to launch ahead of them and get a slightly bigger orbit so they can catch up to me. That's how I do it. You can, as you get more comfortable, you can play around and you can catch up to them and do different techniques, but this is just to start out. So I'm gonna fast forward just a little bit, and I'm gonna launch about now. Buy myself lots of time. Fast forward here. Got almost 100,000 for an apoapsis. That's not bad. So he's orbiting at about 120. I'm going to take it just above that, and like I said, stay ahead. So I can start burning now. Let's burn prograde. Actually, let's just burn completely at the horizon. I just need to gain orbital velocity. So. So he's well behind me. I probably could have waited a little bit longer, let him catch up a little bit more. That just means I'm going to have to do more orbits for him to catch up to me. So I'm wasting a little bit of time, but once you're up here and you're in no rush. Got all the time in the world, so. Sorry, I should have used a more powerful engine. This is going to take a little bit longer than I expected. Let's stop there, get a little closer, now burn. Stay above my apoapsis. Tilt back a little bit, or sorry, stay below my apoapsis. Time to about 12 seconds. The time's going down, I'll just point back up, just bring my apoapsis higher. It's a little more efficient when you have better engines. There we go. This isn't the most efficient, fuel-efficient way to get to orbit, but no big deal. I'm gonna have lots of fuel left over, so. I'll take this. He's at 120. I'm going to take it to 130. Give him a good chance to catch up to me. And I got to bring my make sure it's circularized too. But you already know how to do all that. I don't know what I'm telling you. Oh, we're actually going to have an encounter here. Let's see. So you can see how he's kind of catching up to me. 248, 247, because he's in a smaller orbit than me. Okay, so we're gonna have an encounter right here, actually. That's lucky. You know what? I'm gonna show you how to do everything. So we'll skip this encounter and do another one later. So first thing you want to do is make sure you're on the same plane. When you're starting out, always make sure you're on the same plane. You want to bring this 0.8 to 0, or NAN. Once you get a little more comfortable with rendezvous, but you can do this no problem with this plane. It's not an issue, but just start out with the basics. So just make a maneuver. You always want to do these plane maneuvers at the ascending and descending nodes. It's the only place you can really, I find, get them to 0. So let's warp here. And we'll get another encounter here, so we'll get time here. Warp over here. And let's do the maneuver. I think it's this way. No, it's not. Get him out of fuel. Where are we at now? 0.1. Okay, that's pretty close, and we got very similar orbits. So you know what? I think we can do the burn now and just rendezvous. That shouldn't be an issue. So we'll add a maneuver. There's a maneuver in 37 seconds here. I'm going to try to adjust this pink one or this orange one, whatever comes first. Okay, so if I make the maneuver over here, I can get these pink ones to rendezvous, so we'll do that. All you're doing is prograde, retrograde. That's the only thing you got to worry about to make a rendezvous. So we're at 20.7. I like to aim for less than 5. 0.4. Can't get much better than that, so we're going to do that. So when we burn 36.9 meters prograde here, we're going to adjust our orbits to come in within 0.4 kilometers of the KSS. So let's warp here. Yeah, always when you're starting out, just adjust your orbits prograde, retrograde. Once you get radial, figure out radials and stuff like that, get a little more comfortable by all means, but try to keep it one direction for now. Okay. So I can actually delete this. I know which way I'm looking at. I just find it easier if I just watch these buttons and then stop my engines when they get close enough. Took it down to 0.1. Okay, that's pretty good. So we're gonna rendezvous about 100 meters away from each other. I'll show you what that looks like. So we're gonna just fast forward again. The fuel. Okay, good. Sending node 0.1. Not a big deal. Okay, so as you start getting close to your target, you want to make sure this here is set to target mode. Okay, it's going to be impossible to slow down and figure out where to point if you're not in target mode. Okay, so this is pointing at your target. When your pink circle, that's when you got this pink circle with a dot, that's facing directly at your target. So if you look, I'm facing directly at it. The other pink circle is facing away. So as we get close, there is 55 meters per second difference in our speeds. I gotta make that 0, so that means if it's 0, obviously that means we're in the same orbit. So I'm gonna point retrograde. And this burn, it shouldn't take too long to do, so I'm gonna get nice and close, and then take this down to 0. We're not very far. Okay, let's do it. 30, 20, 10. Take that all the way to 0, as close as you can. Even if you have to adjust it a little bit. Perfect. Now we are not moving in relation to each other, and we are literally 100 meters away. Okay, that's pretty good. So this is the space station I'm building right now. I got another identical rocket. Just wanted to make sure it was... I got another identical rocket here. I was just testing it before I did it with you. Did this video. So again, all you're going to do, you're going to point directly at your target. We're going to get within maybe 30 meters, I think would be comfortable. Make sure you get stability control on, and we're just going to accelerate slowly. Let's just do a couple meters. It's not going to take... If you're farther away, of course, you're going to go faster. But when you're this close, just do a couple meters per second and be patient. And then as you get close, this is getting pretty close. I don't want to bump. You're going to burn retrograde and bring it to 0 again.
What? Okay, so remember Wahi EVA? He's not Wahi with Terry Larson Field.
Okay, so we're moving 0.1 in relation to each other. Not terrible. Okay, so I think it would be best if I tilt the space station to face me. This could be a little confusing too. So I gotta find another dock junior port. There's one. Is that one? Yeah, there's a junior port. There, that's a junior port. So I need to face that one. This is kind of hard to figure out too, but okay, stability controls on. Why is it moving so much? Okay, now it's calming down. Let's switch back to other craft. Oh, sorry, to switch crafts, you just press bracket. We're going to set this one. That's the one we're aiming at. We're going to set that as the target. So yeah, that's the docking port junior. I got a junior on top. I'm going to set that one as the target. Now my target's here. I'm going to point directly at it. And we're 36 meters away, so this is a good time to start using the RCS thrusters. Because I don't want to have to turn all the way around with my engines. I just would like to face the port at this point. So I got my stability control on. I'm going to turn it off and go to RCS. And then I'm just going to press H and N. H brings you forward, N goes back. You got I, J, K, and L. They bring you left, right, up, down. It's really hard to wrap your head around when you don't know which way you're pointing. So for now, just do H and N. I still only just use H and N. So let's make sure I'm pointing directly at the target. And then R, H, H. And then I turned off my RCS and I can bring myself back. We'll get nice and close and then we'll slow down with N. Okay, that should be close enough. So we're 0 again, so we're doing good. Turn this back. Let's rotate. Nope, the other way. Sometimes it's hard to figure out which way to point.
Everyone on the pool, but it's on and staying on.
Stability control back on, make sure I'm not moving much. That's a pretty good line. I think I can work with that. Okay, we'll turn stability control on. Maybe we'll keep it on this time. RCS on, press R, and then H. Just tap it a few times, bring it to 0.7 meters. We're a little off, so we're going to have to slow down. And. Turn RCS off, get in line here, figure out where I'm my prograde to, and there, we're not moving again. Still pretty straight line, so I hope I can work with this. And then they just kind of suction together, like big magnets, which help sometimes. Oh, it's not clicking. Why is it not clicking? Sometimes it does this, and you just gotta reevaluate. It's really weird. Okay, sometimes you just gotta fiddle around with the other one. There we go. And I clicked. And that is a docking. These are all together now. One ship. Okay, I hope that makes sense, man. Let me know if you got any questions.